I feel guided. I don't know how to say it, but I'll pick up a stone and I'll look at it, and it starts talking to me, and I will build something around it. My medium is jewelry. My name is Cynthia Downs. Before I was an administrator, and on Saturdays and Sundays I love to go into galleries, and it never even occurred to me that I wanted to be a metalsmith or do anything in jewelry. But then I would look at pieces and maybe not understand them and then read the story about them, and it really made sense to me, and it was fun to see their vision of what it was they were doing. So I try to do the same thing with my work and tell a little story with each piece that I have. It's hard to call myself a jeweler. I feel more like a metalsmith person, and I'm not sure why, but I think it has to do with the fact that I love to build pieces. Rather, it's very a spontaneous process of looking at a stone and wanting the stone to tell a story and building something around that. I work with silver and gold, and my favorite thing in the world are stones, and it's the whole reason I do anything in this field. I took classes at Mass College of Art and Design, and it was the best thing I ever did. It was like Alice going through the looking glass. I just felt like I entered this other world. As I learned different techniques, I realized that I was hooked. That basically the first thing I brought in as a project was this giant sliced agate, and I wanted to make a belt. And they basically said to me, "You're very ambitious." But I ended up doing it. They were quite surprised. The thing about stones I absolutely love, and going to the gem show is like being a kid in a candy shop. It's where I get to see what Mother Nature does best. For me, it's about the natural stones and just bringing out it's easy to bring out the beauty. It's more about glorifying it. And to me, it's all about nature and trying to make that, if you can, more beautiful than it already is. When I came out here, I went on lots of hikes, and I was looking at tree roots and driftwood, and I realized that beaches and deserts had lots in common, that basically they look the same with erosion from the wind and the rain. And so basically from that was born my first project, which I call my tidal pools. And it was really about sand ripples and catching the stones and just seeing the treasures that the tide would bring in. And so when I would be hiking in the desert and we'd go into these little dry washes, I'd see the same exact patterns, and they would catch the stones, and it was all the same. And I thought, what a beautiful way to take stones and flow them across your wrist or put them around your chest and just have a really pretty look, like my tidal pool here. This is what I have right now, which is a neck piece, and you can see the sand ripples and the little treasures all caught in the ripples. And this is supposed to represent a piece of seaweed that's flowing through there. What I love most is that I feel guided. I don't know how to say it, but I'll pick up a stone and I'll look at it, and it starts talking to me, and I will build something around it. And it feels like The grace of God. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it definitely commands me to do designs. People say, how do you think of those things? I have no idea. It's like the spirit catches me and I just let it go. Believe it or not, selling it is rewarding, because many times when you're sitting for days and days in your studio and you're working on things, you sometimes lose perspective. And then when you go back out and you watch people's reactions to your jewelry and they actually want to buy it, to me, that's the ultimate compliment. I feel like those people can relate to exactly what I'm trying to say with that piece of jewelry. I will see things and try to translate them in my own way. For instance, on my hikes, I would go in and look at a cactus skeleton, prickly pear skeleton. And as it's dying, to me, it's just as beautiful in its death and the way it reveals itself. And what I saw basically with the prickly pear was a lacy exterior or interior, and it reminded me of weaving, and I thought, what a great way to display a stone, some kind of backdrop. And so I practiced weaving. I bought books, I took a weekend course, I basically figured out my own method of weaving that worked as far as keeping my work saleable and wearable. And one of the first things they taught us was, you may have a beautiful piece, but if it falls apart, it's not worth it to get it back. So I made very sure about how I was weaving and how I would do it, my whole process, before I started. So it took some research, but it was a lot of fun learning it in the process. And this is an example of a bracelet that I'm in the process of making. And basically, when it's done, I can do something like this, which is the finished product, and putting a pretty stone on it. I like to sometimes oxidize it so that I have black and gold. And sometimes I just love the silver with a big, beautiful stone on it. Well, what I enjoy most about being here is definitely connecting with the people. I love the artists and I love the customers. So it's a great chance, obviously an opportunity to talk about my work and hopefully have people connect with it. And when they do, it makes me happy and hopefully Celebration happy. But it's a wonderful place to be for 10 weeks. I just really enjoy being here for that period of time. And it gives people a chance to come back and see you again and again. So that's the good part.